It's all my fault. Have you told this statement to yourself at any point of time? Do you believe that you are the one who is primarily responsible for each and every negative event that happens, which in fact is outside of your control? Today I'm going to break down this need to be in control of every situation, in particular negative situations, and how that pain is causing you trouble and how you can come out of it to live a peaceful life. Hey Self-Helper, today I'm going to break down exactly what you need to know about personalization, one of the cognitive distortions or thinking errors that is damaging your life, causing you so much pain because you want to be in control of everything that is happening around you. This is such an innate need. When we want to feel responsible for the state of things, we look at this need to be in control, because if things are outside of my control, it's chaotic. But when I start to associate my control over the situation, which in fact led to a negative result, and somehow that rationalization makes things okay, because this negative event is really painful for me. Now, how can I go about making things better for myself? It's easy. I shift it from being out of control to being in control. And by making this mental shift, I defend myself against the pain of things being out of control, that things are no longer external to my locus of control, and somehow I feel better because of this. And in reality, this is never the case. That's not how things are. When in fact, things are likely to be outside of your control. Let's take an example. Now you look at you being late for work. What do you have under your control? Do you have your daily routine, or how quickly you can get ready and head to work? Or do you have the amount of traffic that is unusual for that particular day under your control, and which leads you to being late for your job? Interesting to consider it, because when we look at the situation, sometimes we have a normal routine. Things are going about the usual way, and then suddenly we experience this, an event that is beyond our control, a lot of traffic. But yet, we somehow want to either externalize the responsibility, which happens to most of us in some cases, or we want to feel personally responsible, because that somehow eases the pain of being late for work. Let me give you another example. Two children who have been separated by divorce. The family is no longer functioning well. Now, this boy who's on one side, or this girl who's on the other side, they blame themselves for the state of their parents. The way they rationalize the situation is that they look at their parents and then they realize that, hey, I think this is because of me. It's because I don't love my parents enough, or some other issue that they don't love each other. But now associating myself with the situation somehow makes things easier. This degree of the need to be in control of the situation is rather harmful, because when you think about it, look at what it's doing to you. It's a desperate need to be in control. It's a conduit for increasing worry. It's something that leads up to you amplifying the pain. You think you're somehow reducing the pain, but in fact you're amplifying it in the long run, because your excessive need to be in control of the situation is blocking you from engaging with your emotions. And this emotion of feeling anxious or feeling depressed or feeling sad, all of these emotions are important to be acknowledged. And somehow when we feel responsible for the situation, it makes dealing with these emotions easier. When in fact we have in some way blocked out the emotions. Now here's a healthier way to react to the situation. You need to acknowledge the fact that you are not 100% in control of everything that happens around you. And everything that happens to you is not your fault. You don't get selected because of the situation that is happening with the sports board. For example, they are not taking in new players primarily because they don't want to have you on the team. They want to fix someone else up, someone who can bribe or somehow make their way into the team so that they get some gain, a political move, so to speak. Now again, we take responsibility for this. It's because I wasn't good enough. It's because things didn't work out the way they were supposed to. That's why I'm here. And now if I am responsible for this particular circumstance, somehow things become easier. Because in reality, it's never about that. It's about your excessive need to be in control. You don't have to be in control. Think about it, because when we look at that, it's an irrational thought process. What is a rational thought process is being realistic about the situation. Did you really have any kind of control over the situation? Or is it the real state of things? That is important to consider. And we engage in this kind of behavior in a wide variety of situations in our own lives. Now it's up to you to decide, am I going to be consistent about this? Am I going to consistently either blame myself for factors or issues that are outside of my control? Am I going to personalize all the negative events that happen to me? Or am I going to be realistic about the situation, be rational about what I'm thinking, and realize that, hey, maybe it's not my fault. Now I have so much under my control, why don't I just focus on that? If you haven't seen my video on how to stop worrying, hit this I button right here, because it's an important event that we all go through. Worrying is so common, yet we fail to acknowledge that engaging in anxiousness is not necessarily the best thing for us. And there are better ways to deal with the anxiousness when it does come about. So go check out that video and build a better understanding of your worry. So that's more or less what I had to share with you in this video. If you found it useful, make sure you leave it a thumbs up and tell me what you thought about it down in the comment section below. Remember, we are constantly blaming ourselves for things that are outside of our control. The fuel prices are too high. I am a bad citizen. Santa Claus doesn't love me because I've been a bad boy this year. That's probably true now. So consider all of these things. The things that are outside of your control, let them go. What is under your control, take it in, use it to the best of your ability, and get out there and enjoy your life. If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe and hit bell notifications, because you don't want to miss even a single video coming out of this channel, because we are dedicated every single day of the week to empowering you, motivating you, and having you perform better in every single area of your life to become the best version of yourself. Check out all of my videos down here. Cognitive distortions or thinking errors are a big problem that we face on a daily basis, and getting rid of each and every one of them is essential. This is Vikram signing off, and I'll see you in the next session.